Welcome to Agent Tactics. This is another Friday installation. Our guest today is Cam Avery. Now, about a year and a half ago, Cam started driving into YouTube and he started not seeing success immediately. But after being consistent and doing the right things, using keywords, using really good content, he's grown a channel that's almost to 10,000 subscribers and now consistently getting leads and business out of. And I want to hear from him. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about how he got started on YouTube, because if you're trying to figure out how to get started on YouTube, write me in the comment section right now. If you're trying to figure out what content you need to be creating instead of what you're creating now, write me in the chat so I know it's you. And then we're going to go through and talk about how his keywords have helped, and it's driving to different pieces of his business, which is driving business directly to him. So Cam Avery, welcome to Agent Tactics, bud.
Thank you so much, Jeremy. It's awesome to be here, man. Super excited to share and hopefully help some people out who are thinking about starting up a YouTube channel for sure.
Awesome. So I'm going to pull up your YouTube channel. Tell us how you got started on YouTube and how that got going.
Yeah. So essentially last year, and I don't know about any of you guys, but last year was my worst year of production so far. I've been in the industry for about 6 years, started back in 2016. And I was at a couple conferences and everybody kept talking about YouTube. And would definitely not disparage anyone, but there was a guy up there talking about YouTube. And I just kind of said to myself, he was just a character. And I was like, if this guy can do it, okay, like I can do YouTube. And because I had a background in photography and videography, and I don't know about you, but I just watch YouTube all the time. Like it's how I learn 95% of the things in my life. And so January of last year, realizing that this year was probably going to look a lot different in my business wise, I had to really kind of stretch. And my the normal sphere of influence that I was working with in the past just wasn't purchasing homes. Maybe they weren't selling. So I had to get outside of my sphere. I had to get outside of even my past book of business. And YouTube seemed like a really, really good way to do that. And so we made the commitment in January of last year to essentially post one video a week for the entire year. And so that's really kind of how we got started on our channel.
So curious, you started doing the YouTube, you wanted to get outside your current sphere. What content did you start with posting?
Yeah, so we had a 6-month strategy essentially where we were going to make videos targeting the towns that we worked in for the first 6 months, and then in month 5 and month 6, we were going to make our large kind of keyword, which for us, we're in southern Maine and Seacoast, New Hampshire. Not sure where you guys. Well, I see some of you guys are in Florida, Alabama. Not our market isn't super high desirable for relocation, right? It's not like people are like, oh, you've got to relocate to, southern Maine. It's just not a highly desirable relocation market. So the opportunity was wide open to essentially rank for keywords in all of these towns. And so we took a strategy where the first 4 months we made a video. I think the first one was Portsmouth, and it was the pros and cons of living in Portsmouth, the cost of living in Portsmouth, don't move to Portsmouth, and moving to Portsmouth, watch this video first. And the goal there was for whenever somebody would type in moving to Portsmouth or living in Portsmouth, our videos would pop up. We did that for Portsmouth, New Hampshire, Portland, Maine, and I think Kittery, Maine, and then one other town. And then after that, then we made our larger keyword, which would just be living in Maine or moving to Maine, living in New Hampshire, moving to New Hampshire, because the states that we represent are relatively small in population wise compared to some other states in the country. I knew that we'd have to rank for those bigger keywords if we were going to get any traction in the channel.
Now, when you started shooting these, did you immediately just go out and hire a videographer, or did you kind of just learn and use your phone? What equipment did you use?
Yeah, so I had the privilege of just kind of having a bit of a background in photography and videography, which if you don't, like, please don't let that be an excuse not to start a channel. But I had a camera, I had a microphone. I knew enough to be dangerous, and then I just kind of dove in. I scripted out one of my first. I think I scripted out the first four videos and went out and just had them, running through on a teleprompter on my phone. And like the first four videos, I'm like looking down and to the left and like clearly not on the camera. But we posted them and they're up there, and we just like don't get hung up on your first videos, right? They're not going to win blockbusters. They're not going to win awards. You just got to post them. And so, made them myself, edited them myself, kind of learned a lot about that process. And then now at this point where, we have a videographer that's going to be helping us move forward in this year because of the business that we're getting from the channel here now. So.
I want to ask two questions. Don't let me forget the second one. So your videographer, what was the process of hiring a videographer? Because it's a question that many of you are going to ask, right? If you're going to ask that question, write a one on the chat. So I know that was a question you're going to ask. That was question number one. And then question number two, I want to talk about lead flow and what leads look like and how those are coming through. So how did you, I don't see any one. So nobody wants me to ask the videographer question. Okay, cool. We're not going to ask that question then.
Fair enough. I'm still in the process too, so it
Okay.
is a process of interviewing and finding.
Okay, so I'll still ask the question since everybody fell asleep, it seems like. Finding a videographer, because I just hired a full-time videographer. What was that process like?
Yeah, so again, I'm still in that process now, Jeremy. Like I've got two or three that I've used on a couple listing videos, a couple videos, and then I'm meeting with another one on Monday. Like, don't just hire the first videographer, especially with YouTube, because you're going to be putting out long form content. And you kind of need someone that's going to fit the brand that you're going for. There's a channel up in the, up further north in Maine, they have like 55,000 subscribers, and they literally just walk around with their phone and look at land and show houses, and they get hundreds of thousands of views every video that they post.
Yeah.
And so there's so many ways to do it. For us personally, we go with more trying to go with more of a professional brand. So looking into like a high end, not high end, but a nice videographer to film.
Let me pull up. I hate pulling up a video to only watch a small section of it because I don't want to kill your analytics.
Oh, you're fine.
So let's see. Let's look at your most recent one. Let's see what we're talking about.
Here today in downtown Exeter to do a walking tour of what the downtown area actually looks like. If you're new to the channel, my name's Cam Avery. This channel is all about relocating to Southern Maine and Seacoast, New Hampshire. So if that's you, definitely like and subscribe. And let's go ahead and just jump right into it. All right, so here we are. Somehow we always pick the ugliest days to show you what New Hampshire is like. I'm not sure exactly how that works, but I guess the good thing about it is that if you still like New Hampshire, even when it looks like this, chances are you're really going to like it in this.
Okay, I'm gonna cut it off right there. I'm letting it play through so it doesn't kill the analytics for you.
No problem.
But I mean that looks really, really hard to shoot and edit.
Yeah.
And when I say that, I mean that looks super easy because you're just voiceovering this part. So I wanted to show
Yeah.
that because everybody thinks it needs to be so complicated. But if I were to continue to let you see this right now, you're still walking down a main street just talking, and it's a 5 minute and 52 minute a 5 minute and 52 second video. So two questions then, as far as time, do you care about how long your videos are? And I mean, obviously it doesn't look like you take too much time to edit. So we'll just ask that question. I even forgot my question.
No
What was my
worries.
question? Oh, video length. So do you care what the video length is? Do you going for a specific video length?
It on our channel, people seem to like consume the 3 to 5 minute videos, and then for me personally, just because I was editing them, like any much longer than 5 minutes just felt so daunting to me to like
Okay.
start editing and try to cut together something that was halfway decent. So the 3 to 5 minute mark is generally what we go to hit. And that video there was a walking tour, which again, like you were saying, it's so easy to do. You literally can just take your phone, you can buy a little $100 gimbal, or you could get a GoPro, which is what we use, and literally just walk around and voice over what the town looks like. And those always perform really well. But what we did there, so that's we couple that with like a pros and cons of living in Exeter. So this is specific to Exeter, New Hampshire. So we have a walking tour, we have a pros and cons, and then I think I did maybe a driving tour or something. So we try to shoot like multiple pieces of content while we're in one city or town, just to get the most bang for your buck when you're out filming. Like if you guys are in production, like you don't have 10 days to go and devote towards making 100 videos. So it's like for me, I just try to get as much done in a couple hours as possible. So
What's nice is the comment section saying, love the video, would like to see more walking tours. So
yeah,
more
right.
walking tours. So
Apparently,
that's
yeah.
pretty cool to see. Okay. Hey, everybody, if you have questions as we're going through this, we're going to get to the keywords and how he's using keywords, because that's a big question most people have. Drop just so I know you're still here, just put something in the chat so I know you're still alive. But definitely write a question if you have questions in there. I like these masterminds to be very uh, conversational. So, last question I have before we get into the keywords part of it. Cool. I know we got people here. So, last question before that. As far as the analytics goes, do you typically really dive into your analytics and see the performance of your videos, or do you just put out a video and then just get on to the next one?
No, I mean, I am somewhat obsessive over the analytics of our videos to try to figure out what's performing well, what's not. And the key metrics are always going to be, especially within the first 24 hours, are it's going to be click-through rate and watch time. The first video that we had that really took off, which if you're looking for people to watch your videos, just make them about bad things. So it was don't move to Maine. Here's why. People always gravitate towards the negative. And the thumbnail was me like this, like, oh no. And, don't move to Maine. And that video had like a 15% click through rate within the first 24 hours, which that kind of a statistic, when you see that, a video is going to perform really well. It means 15% of people that YouTube is showing that video to are actually clicking on it and watching it. And so when we had that video, really kind of took off. And I think it's around 300,000 views at this point, 293 or something. So I always look for click-through rate. If I don't get the click-through rate I'm looking for, we'll change the title, we'll change the thumbnail, we'll mess around with it until we see a better click-through rate. And those are on our bigger keyword videos. I know that a video about a walking tour with Exeter, it's not going to get hundreds of thousands of views. Okay. It's going to get a couple hundred views, but those are more of your bottom of the funnel people that are like, well, I want to know what it's like to walk around the town that I'm thinking of moving to.
Nice. So one of the questions that we had here in the chat, there we had two of them about lead conversion, which we're going to talk about lead. Lee, we're going to talk about lead conversion here in a minute, because we're going to go through the how he's pulling leads from this. But great question, so stay tuned for that. Joy asked, do you edit all of your videos yourself, and do you create the thumbnails?
So yes and yes at this point. I've hired out a Fiverr editor a few times, which I've had pretty good success with. Unfortunately, I find myself to be a bit of a control freak. I don't know about anybody else here, but I'm just like, I want it to be a certain way and I want it to look a certain way. And so I'm having trouble letting go, which is again why it's taking me so long to hire a videographer. And then in terms of thumbnails, I'm using either Canva or Adobe Creative Cloud. And once if you were just starting your channel again, if you go back and look at my thumbnails to start off with, they're okay. They're getting better and better every, if you're going to do it yourself, they're going to get better as you progress. Of course, you can always hire that out on Fiverr. And I have another guy who I'm friends with who has a person on Fiverr make them for like literally $5. So
Okay, the other question she had, and I think this Lee, this is a phenomenal question, because it's a question, a lot of my stuff that does very well is more negative based, right? When I create anything about Austin that's not negative, it does a fraction of views, but I get leads from those videos, right? So do you get leads from your negative videos is a fantastic question, Lee.
yeah, it is such a good question. And it's something that I wrestled with before I posted those videos. Like, oh man, I can't tell, people the negative, but The consistent feedback that we get all the time is this: I appreciate how honest you were in your videos. I appreciate that you, as a real estate agent, pulled back the curtain and showed me the negative about living here. Because here's the reality: like, nobody needs to know why it's good to live in the lakes region of New Hampshire. Like, all you have to do is type in Lake Winnipesaukee and you look and you can see how great it is. Like, it's beautiful, right? What someone's searching and what they really want to know, if they're actually planning on moving here, is like, what are the things that are terrible about the place I'm moving? And is someone willing to tell me that? So, great question.
Yeah, that's a question I get a lot too. I mean, there's a lot of realtors who, it's funny, like the people who get offended by my videos are realtors. The people that are not offended by my videos are the consumer. Prime example, I made a video that I put on Instagram and on YouTube the other day, and it was like the 10 worst places to live in Austin. Even on this chat, I asked agents, and agents were like, oh, this is, one of the agents said, well, it's a ethics violation. It's a fair housing violation. And the reality is, it's not a fair housing violation nor an ethics violation when you're citing a site and asking a question. Now, I could see where agents don't like to talk about that stuff. Um, what was interesting, the feedback I got from that video, agents were angry that I would do it. I literally had agents unfollowed me. I had agents DMing me saying I was racist. My videographer does not look like me. We'll just say that. And I asked my videographer who shot the video, who edited the video, spent hours editing the video. And I asked him, like, what do you think? He's like, dude, if I'm buying a home, I want to know this information. Like, he's like, I edited this video the whole time. Like, wow, I didn't know. And he was like, I actually had to research some of these areas because of what you put in these videos, because I'm a buyer. And so I think that's important too, that, the perception from us as realtors is this is bad. You can't do that. But ask your consumers. Do your consumers want this information or not? I mean, your avatar is your avatar, right? And that's what we talk about on my channel a lot, and growing your channels. Who's your avatar? If your avatar is somebody moving to your area, the chances are they don't want to know just the positives. They do want that, but they also want to know what landmines to look out for. So curious there, but okay. A great question, Lee. Let's get into the analytics part of it. Or sorry, not the analytics, but the part a lot of everybody came here for, and that was the keywords, right? So talk us through how you conceptualize your video, how you create your thumbnail and title, and then how you add the keywords, or are you thinking of the title and keywords first before you do any of that? And as you do that, I'll pull up some sites.
Yeah, so every video starts with the title for me. I don't make a video until I have a title. And then with the title in my mind, I have the thumbnail, like what it could look like, what it should look like. I just saw the guy with the cigarette in his mouth. That's the
Yeah.
main accent one. Anyways, what it could look like, what it should look like. And so the title and the thumbnail is super important because it's what's going to create the click-through rate. It's what's going to get people to actually click through. Again, these are our most popular videos, and look at how many of them I have a negative like connotation to my demeanor in them because people end up gravitating towards that negative. And so yeah, it definitely starts with the title and the thumbnail, and I'm thinking of the keywords too. New Hampshire, Maine, and the where I started before we started the channel is Google Trends. And so you can essentially go on Google Trends, and Jeremy, if you just type in Maine.
I'm going to do Austin, Texas,
Yeah, yeah,
because I'm
fine. Yeah,
curious.
yeah, yeah.
Go ahead. Keep going.
Well, the best thing is that you can then compare it to something else. So I guarantee if you compare Austin, Texas to Maine, Austin's going to blow it off the charts. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Wait, what's red is
Maine's red.
okay, interesting. Wow. So people are actually searching for Maine significantly more than Austin, Texas, which is interesting. So what you want to do, and what I did, and look at the interest start to spike, and I can actually trace that to the amount of views that we're getting. Like, we have one video that's starting to blow up again, and it just started in the beginning of May. So you can type in, and what we did was, I see a question. Yeah, exactly, because of the season, 100%. Are you doing better in Maine and New Hampshire? So if you compare Maine to New Hampshire, what you'll see is that Maine is just more, people search for Maine more. They just do. It's more of a, people think about Maine vacation land, they think of Acadia National Park, place to vacation. And right now they're actually pretty comparable. Um, but we did find that if you overall, people were searching Maine more. And then I went and then looked in the cities that we were marketing in. So if you guys go and type in into Google Trends, for us, it would be like Kittery, Maine and Portsmouth, New Hampshire. And I would see, okay, well, this video, a lot of people are searching this and not many people are searching for Kittery. So maybe we'll save that and do a video about that later. That kind of allowed us to create a strategy where for the first 4 months, like I talked about, we targeted the towns that we worked in and we created 4 videos each on those towns so that when someone types into Google, if they type in living in, Portsmouth, New Hampshire, or, our videos will pop up. And then the other part of it is the big keywords. So you want to find some big keywords that you guys can rank for. And the nice thing about it is for us, there was just no competition. And so it was a really easy way to just get on the first page of Google by ranking for living in Maine, moving to Maine, living in New Hampshire, and moving to New Hampshire. And so, if you type that into Google, our videos will pop up right on the first page of, of Google. And so, uh, New Hampshire has the best license plate. Yes, live free or die. Sometimes it's live free and die, unfortunately. But yes, we don't have to wear seatbelts in New Hampshire for some reason. I don't know why.
I don't know how to spell New Hampshire.
Yeah, you got it right. Yeah, Hampsh. Yeah, that's right. Yep.
All right, good. I got it. See, smarter than I look.
It's like a weird spike there. I don't know what
Yeah.
happened.
You probably put a video out that day.
Everybody wanted to learn about it that day.
Yeah.
So
Let's see. You probably put a video out that day as well.
eventually, yeah. Yep.
May 17th. Oh, it doesn't tell you what days you post the videos. Oh, anyway.
So just try.
Okay.
So Jeremy, try typing in like the top search bar. Just try in Google. Just try typing in living in Maine.
Just in Google.
Yeah, just actual Google. And then scroll down a couple. So there, boom, boom,
I don't
boom.
recognize anybody on here.
Right. So we're on the first page of Google, like, and it's so hard to get on the first page of Google. So we're able to just rank for those keywords and get that traction. And, we end up getting, at least 3,000 to 5,000 views a month just from people searching on Google. So it's definitely driving traffic back there.
Which reminds me, this is a good time to I know you can see my channel, so it's fine. This video I just did is not doing as well as I hoped. So it's a good time to show you this video right here. Is not doing as well as I'd hoped. Only 1,000 views, only 1 extra subscriber. So I'm gonna come back in here. I don't even put a description in here. Well, that would help if I put a description in there. How did I not put a description?
So you're changing the title.
Yeah, there you go. We'll see how if that bumps it up.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's the thing is you can experiment with titles and just kind of see what could or not. Again, I bet your 10 worst suburbs did a lot better than your 10 best ones, right?
Oh, for sure.
It's just human nature. We just gravitate towards the negative. If you want your videos to do well, the irony is that your goal is to attract buyers and sellers to move here. And the way that you do it is by making videos about why not to move here. And it works.
Oh, now I have to rewrite my description. So continue, my friend.
Yeah, sure. So in terms of lead generation, what we're doing is if you watch one of our videos all the way through, at some point there'll be a call to action. And the call to action is super simple. hey, I just want to let you know we created a free relocation guide. You can download it totally for free just by clicking the link right in the description below. And Jeremy, if you can pull up like our description or the um like what that actually looks like and show people. So essentially what they're going to do is maybe they watch 1, 2, 10 videos of ours. At this point, they've heard it 10 times that they can download a totally free relocation guide. And what you want to make sure is that if you're going to use this lead magnet, you want to make sure to say it in every video because you never know which one is going to take off. And it would suck to have a video that's getting hundreds of thousands of views and you didn't tell people about the one way that you can capture their contact information.
Right.
So for us, in every single video we do, we make a small call to action, download our free relocation guide. It's got some information that's not going to be available kind of deal. And so they go in here, they hit the guide, they put in their name, phone number, and email. And then it's essentially just sends the relocation guide to them. From that point on, there's a secondary, and you can fill it out. You don't have to, but there's a secondary landing page that gets hit. Um, After they fill that out, actually, yeah, if you fill it out, it would be helpful. Send me the guide. Now, boom, secondary landing page. This is me just saying, hey, I think it would be great if we could connect on the phone. Would love to touch base with you. You may be 6 months, 12 months out. It's just a personal video, essentially. And from there, they can schedule a call on Calendly. And so what if I look at last month, I can just go I'm on my computer here.
So my question on this is who, and another question for everybody in here is how did you create this landing page and this landing page?
Yep. Yeah. So we use lead pages and I think it's about $45 a month. And it's just a site where you can create landing pages that work really well. They're fast, they're good on mobile, and they convert. And there's a ton
I
of
want to
different.
say I want to say that if you're at Real, I want to say Lofty has this
Okay.
built in. I'll have to double check, but I'm pretty sure because we have landing pages like this.
Yep.
So
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I know. I'm sure there's a ton of different options for that. We just have used lead pages. I used actually MailChimp at one point because they had a landing page site that worked good as well.
somebody asked, Becky, thank you, Becky asked. So let me.
Congratulations on downloading your relocation guide. I just wanted to say thank you so much. And I do sincerely hope that you get a lot of value out of the guide. I also just wanted to invite you to schedule a call with me totally at your convenience, no obligation. Even if your move is 1, 2, 3, 5 years out, what I've found is that it's really nice to have a boots on the ground connection to, Maine and New Hampshire. And so, if you seriously are considering moving here, I highly encourage you to go ahead and schedule a call with me. Would love to connect, discuss your goals, talk about your timeline, and we can really kind of give you some direction, some helpful pointers, and some tips as to how to be prepared when the time comes for your move. So you can go ahead, click the button right below. There's a calendar and schedule a call with us at your convenience. Thanks so much, and I look forward to talking with you soon.
There you go.
Yeah, I probably should redo that. It felt kind of drony, but
It did, yeah. I only say that because yesterday Eileen and I were shooting a video, and I was like, Eileen, you got to give it a little more like energy. Use your hands, like use your body. Like she was like, and our buyers are facing this in the market, the high interest rates. And I'm like, oh my God, robot Eileen, stop, go away.
no,
So
no, it's hard.
it's
I mean, video is hard, and it's funny because I usually use a teleprompter, and in that video, I'm not using a teleprompter, and it feels like I'm not. It feels super awkward.
yeah.
So we're gonna have to redo that. I'm glad we watched that.
There you go. See, sometimes we think everything's perfect until we watch it again. But let me pull up, I'm not sharing right now. Let me pull up my email. So, okay, so the leads, click on here and then they come through. What's a conversion rate on the leads that come through here, and how many leads do you get coming through here?
I think last time I checked, it was 15% conversion rate. The last 30 days we got 99 leads
Nope.
that
No,
came in.
wait, say that again.
We have a 15% conversion rate. In the last 30 days, we had 99 leads come in and fill out the relocation guide.
So 99 leads fill out the relocation guide, and 15% convert to close business.
Oh no, so 15%. I thought you meant landing page conversion.
Oh
So
yeah, well, yeah,
so I would say
that's still good too.
yeah, it's a highly converting, because at this point, by the time they hit the landing page, they're gonna do it. You know, they've watched us. They feel like they know who you are, right? And so they're gonna convert pretty easly. And then yep, there's the guide itself.
What's
Uh,
this little logo on the bottom?
but yeah, we're gonna ignore that. I gotta update the guide apparently. So, I just try to hit it with a little personality. This is me, as my family, show pictures of my kids, and then we talk about living in Maine, living in New Hampshire, um, kind of what it's like to live here. So the goal, again, it's not always to give a ton of information. It's to make that personal connection with the person
Yeah, this
wherever
looks
they
good though.
are.
I mean, it's very aesthetically pleasing. I always just make this on Canva.
Yep. Yep.
Yep,
Yeah.
looks
And
good.
with the pros and cons with each town, it's easy because once you make it once, you can just kind of copy and paste that.
Oh, okay. So I'm scrolling through this kind of fast. So I apologize, everyone. Yeah. So you have Elliott, Maine here. You have York, Maine. You got a few others up there. Yeah, it's nice. Okay, this looks really good. If you have a relocation guide like this, write in the chat, "I'm awesome." If you don't, just put a smiley face that you're going to create a guide like this. And no shame either way, because guess what? I don't have an awesome one like this. Lee says I'm awesome. Yes, right? Awesome. And it's cool about this is stuff, if you have a VA or something like that, you can have them create this. I wouldn't, a lot of you think like, oh, I got to rush out and create this guide. I don't think you got to go out and create this guide. You could probably do that same thing where you do a book a call with me, right? Like, hey, if you want to ever book a call with me and you shoot a video, that might be a little more easier right up front.
Yep.
Because
Yeah.
I
You
would
can go.
say,
Yep. Scott, so go
yeah,
ahead.
to get all my tips and tricks of why of moving to the Austin area, I'd love to schedule a 30-minute quick conversation with you about all of this, and we can go through and get more information about what you're looking for if you are going to make a move, right? So you can do the same thing as a video and not give them the guide while you're working on the guide. Video is much easier to shoot, in my opinion, but
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
So this converts and you're getting 99 leads a month. Let's talk about lead flow then. So I don't think we really got too heavy into the keywords though. Let's go back to the keywords first and then come back to this. So the keywords, you went in and found out how to search, what videos we're going to rank. What about the keyword section of it?
Yeah. So the other thing that you guys could download for free, it's called TubeBuddy. And literally it links right into YouTube. And there's a portion of TubeBuddy called the Keyword Explorer. And so you can literally type in titles that you're thinking of, and it will tell you how many people are searching for that, if it's a good, fair, or potentially a poor video or poor ranking for keywords. And what makes it poor is if a ton of people have made that video before. So what you want to do is find a keyword in your area, in your market, that is not highly searched. And the nice thing about, again, where we are in Maine and New Hampshire, is that the market's kind of wide open. If you type in, like, just for example, living in South Berwick, Maine, there's not a million videos because it's not a huge populated area. Whereas Austin, Texas, I think is probably going to be a lot more competitive and harder to rank. Thankfully, Jeremy's already like ranking very heavily for Austin, Texas. But those main keywords are really going to be the locations that you're targeting, right? So if it's a town or a state, and then the living in or moving to. So living in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, moving to Portsmouth, New Hampshire. If you can somehow intersperse those keywords into your titles, then it's going to cause, Google to show that when someone types in Portsmouth, or Google will somehow know that people are thinking about moving there and they'll show your video. The other thing you can then do is go into the description, and you can essentially put those keywords interspersed throughout your description. So
Mhm.
if you're interested in living in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, this video is going to show you the pros and cons of what's it like to actually live here. We're going to peel back the curtain and give you living in Portsmouth, New Hampshire like you've never seen it before. Again, I'm just kind of spitballing here, but you can just go and throw in those keywords in your description, and it's just going to give Google a little bit more information to hit it. But, here's the thing.
You could use ChatGPT as well, like write me a
100%.
keyword-rich description for, a video that's this. That'd be if you don't want to go through and write it or know how to do keyword-rich. What's the other? I have the other one. I don't have TubeBuddy, but there's another one that you can use. It gives you the keywords
IQ,
and stuff. What?
vidIQ, I think.
vidIQ, perfectly. Thank you. I'll pull that up. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I mean, the other aspect of this that I think it's super important to realize is that, if your video sucks, it doesn't matter how good your keywords are. Um, so make sure that, you put your keywords and you do that research, and you have the keywords interspersed in your titles and your description, but also when you make your thumbnail, make it something that someone will want to click on, and then when they click on it, the other metric, the other analytic that's super important for YouTube is watch time. So if people are all excited, like, oh, living in Portsmouth, this is perfect, and they click on it, and it's just a really bad video, and they just click off it in 30 seconds, keywords are not necessarily a magic potion that's obvious that's all of a sudden going to cause your video to explode. You have to know the keywords, create your strategy, but then focus on your videos themselves and your scripts and all of the you know what I'm saying, Jeremy?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's important. You have to actually create something people are going to watch. So I always tell people there's multiple elements to creating a good video. The keywords are one part of it, right? So if you're using ChatGPT or you're using like this vidIQ to come up with let's say like best suburbs, right? Or this to come up with keywords for this. So that's another one. vidIQ does the same thing. Let's see, AI coach SEO. Here we go, SEO. This is what I should have done. I'll keep going through this, but it's really important that you have good video that people watch. So you have to continue the conversation. If you're watching your video back and it's boring to you, it's going to be boring to the consumer, which means that the watch time, which you were talking about earlier, is going to drop. And when a watch time on a video drops, YouTube doesn't send it out to as many people. When the watch time goes up, YouTube says, oh, more people are watching this. Let's find more people like this avatar to put your video in front of. And so that's really important. The keywords, I think, are very important, but overall, I think the most important thing is putting out a good video, good thumbnail, and a good title, personally.
Yep, I agree.
As you can tell how much I actually use vidIQ.
It's good, it's good to a point, right? Once at this point, now that I know that we're already ranking for those top keywords, now the trick is to find creative videos that people are actually going to watch, right? And so I think that, if you can create kind of a foundation, specifically if you're going for a relocation channel, because that's what YouTube is really geared towards. It's geared towards people that are searching about living in wherever you're the area that you're servicing, which is really relocation, buyers. Nobody that lives in Austin, Texas is wondering what it's like to live in Austin, Texas. They live there. They don't need you to answer that question. Someone living
Right.
in California needs to know what it's like to live in Austin, Texas. And so you're really targeting relocation buyers. Once you've created a channel that ranks for all of those top keywords, I think then it becomes a little bit more fun potentially, not as much science, and more how can we make a creative video that's fun that people might want to watch, because that's the other part of it is consistency, and that can get challenging if your videos are just kind of like you were saying, feeling a bit robotic.
So here's a prime example. Like I just put in the title that I just wrote, living in Austin, Texas, best suburbs, and it gave it a 65. It's actually not bad. And then it should give me, if I want keywords, related keywords. So now it's going to show me on here which keywords are ranking the most. Living in Austin, Texas, 65. So they actually have it the highest on here. Moving to Austin would be 63. So these are the keywords that I should be putting in the video itself. So I'm going to pick the ones that are going to be the highest, right? Moving to Austin, Texas, Austin real estate, buying a home in Austin. These are all keywords that I already use. So I don't need to, my keywords are already set. I already set them on YouTube, so I don't have to change them. Best Austin realtor. I have that one. What to know when moving to Austin. It says very low engagement. Competition is very low. So that would be a good one to throw in there if I don't have it already. Investing in Austin. Staging tips, probably not going to use that one. It has nothing to do with that video. FSBO, agent, Georgetown, low competition. So this is one I'll probably put in there right now. And you're going to ask me the question, right? Because everybody's on here. This is where we show and tell. So in my keywords, when I go through here into the settings, my main settings, it already has those keywords in there. But I want to add Georgetown on here now. This is in the section over here. Where to live. I'm probably going to take, let's see, was home on there? Where did you go? No, that wasn't it. No, that wasn't it. I can't even find it now. Keywords, here you go. Let's see if home was on there.
Jeremy, are you looking at the weighted or unweighted?
As far as for
Like
what?
when these things matter, the weighted, if it's a weighted or an
Well, I'm just looking at which ones have overall score, and then those are the ones, and the ones that have low competition. Like Austin, Texas, he's saying has high competition. So I want to find the words that have low competition, a high score. Keep Austin weird.
The weighted and the unweighted are on TubeBuddy.
Oh, yeah, I don't look at TubeBuddy. So
Yeah, so weighted would be more direct competition.
that's the thing is like everybody thinks, oh, you got to use TubeBuddy. For my videos, it goes super viral. I still don't use keywords or even pay attention to keywords. I already have them preset, right? So it's the keywords that I've looked at that work for my channel, and I put those in there. So I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I think that the algorithm at this point is using keywords to an extent. But I do think that when it comes to the metrics that are actually going to cause a video to go quote unquote viral, it's really going to be click through rate and watch time. YouTube wants people to stay on YouTube. They just like Instagram wants people to stay on Instagram, just like all of these algorithms. TikTok is the same way. They're looking for people that actually want to watch your videos, you know. And so if you've created content that's valuable, that people can get something out of, they're going to watch it, and they're going to watch it for a long time. And then after they've watched 2 or 3 of your videos, they feel like they know you, you know?
Yeah, I think the tough thing is a lot of us can get caught up in the weeds on what we think matters to get a video viral,
Yep.
but the virality is more of what's in the video itself.
Yeah, and two, I wouldn't get caught up even in going viral with a real estate agent relocation YouTube channel. You know, we've had a couple of videos that have done really well, and have performed way better than I thought they would. But most of our videos are, you know, a couple hundred views, maybe a couple thousand views. And that's amazing because, you know, if you think about how long it would take for me to go and have 1,000 face-to-face meetings every day. You know, like right now, our channel is getting between 2,500 and 3,000 views a day. So that's a 2,500 and to, you know, essentially face to face, me in front of somebody else talking about a town. How long would that take, you know, for you to do? It would be insane. And that's really what it's about. It's about building that pipeline, you know, that at this point, you know, here we are a year and a half into it. And, you know, I have a closing this Friday, whatever, today's Friday, in a couple hours, from a YouTube lead that came in last year. you know, and have had closings all throughout this year from YouTube, which is really the end. That's the end game, right? So, you know, from talking about lead flow, right? Um, you know, we after they come in from the relocation guide, they go into follow up boss, um, and then we have like an email campaign that's set up, and what I found is that if you call every one of these leads, you're going to exhaust yourself because they're so top of funnel that the conversations are going to be so widely varied, and you'll end up. And the other thing about YouTube is, I don't know if you guys already have channels, you probably know this. But when you talk to a lead from YouTube, like they just spill their whole life story. It's crazy because they feel like they know you. And so what I found is if I was calling every one of these leads, I mean, I wouldn't even get through 10 calls, and it would take all my morning. And so I just said a simple email, and it just is like, hey, thank you so much for downloading the guide. Are you planning on moving to the area? Question mark. And that's the first email that goes out within 24 or 48 hours. Um, and you know, the response rate is really good on that. And if people are actually planning on moving to the area, they will tell me, and then I'll say, great, let's set up a call. I'll send them the Calendly link. And so it's kind of a way to pre-qualify these leads because they really are top of funnel. You know, these are people that are just like, I want to learn about the area. Send me a guide. You know, I don't know if it's the best use of your time to call every single one of them. And so for me, this has worked. You know.
So we got a couple good questions in here. You said a lot of really good stuff, and I want to comment on a lot of it, but I think a lot of the question, I want to get to a lot of these questions because we only have about like 9 minutes left. One question was about new construction and does new construction work? So here's Raj Sehu's channel. Raj Sehu in Austin does closer to $30 million a year. He only does new construction sales. And every other piece of business he refers off. If you're a seller, he refers off. If you're looking for resale, he refers off. He only wants to go to show homes and model homes. So a majority of his property tours are just new construction homes that are staged, that look nice, and he does really nice thumbnails. So the reason why some of these do very well, if I click on his popular videos here, you know, you're looking at 300,000 views, 300,000 views, 259,000 views, 51,000 views, 36. So he does so much of this because builders have keyworded themselves a lot so they can sell. So talking about builders, keywords that builders use, I think is a great way to go. So for that was Whitney Lore's question on new construction. So if you're doing videos about new construction, just make sure you tag a lot of the companies and some of the keywords that they would use, and that'll help. Karen says, do you have a difference between the two as far as keyword, vidIQ and TubeBuddy? I don't use TubeBuddy. I like the vidIQ. I think it's a little easier for me to use, and there's more you can do with it. But I hate paying for stuff that I never use, and I never use that. Karen also says, any suggestions on second home markets? I'm in Ion Park City, Utah, and the keyword search is generally very low for real estate.
So
Question.
yeah, that's a great question. You know, we're in a bit of a second home market here as well because we're right on the seacoast. And so we've got a lot of beach houses, we've got a lot of second homes. And so one of the strategies that I'm going to start implementing is, you know, essentially literally the title being buying a vacation home in Kennebunk. Watch this first. You know, what are the short-term rental regulations on, you know, like short-term rent? I'm going to do a video about short-term rental regulations because that's important. If you're buying a second home, you're thinking about renting it out. A number of my clients already want to know that. So I'm going to make a video about that. And so trying to figure out, if you ask yourself, okay, if I'm a second home buyer, what are the questions that I'm asking? And then you position yourself to answer those questions. You know, that's kind of how you can target that second home market. Because like you said, you know, the keyword research may not necessarily work well. So put yourself in their shoes, answer those questions, you know, and that should work. And then Leah, hi Leah, local Maine agent. Good to see you here. Yeah. So in terms of how much we've closed, and so personally, I think we've, you know, I've had about 2.5 million YouTube leads closed this year, and then I've sent out another 2 million in referrals that have closed as well. And that's really that's, up to this point this year. Our first year of our YouTube channel, we didn't close a single deal. And so if you're hoping that YouTube is going to be a quick fix for your business and you're just immediately going to get buyers flooding in, just pay for Zillow, right? Just go a different route. YouTube is not that. YouTube is a slow, hard trudge to the top of a mountain, but when you get there, you're the only one standing and maybe two others that have put in the work, have put in the time, have put in the energy to make this a pillar of their business. I would say if you're looking to build a YouTube channel and you're not thinking about it as one of the foundational aspects of your business, don't even try, because you're just going to get burnt out. You're going to get frustrated, and then you'll look at your channel and be like, I haven't posted a video in 7 months. Like, what happened to that? And it'll just be another thing that fell by the wayside. So when it comes to YouTube, like, I feel like you really have to make that commitment that it's going to be a foundational part of your business. Once I did that, I was able to push past the year of not closing a single deal. My wife saying, what are you doing? You're absolutely nuts. Stop making these stupid videos. Nobody's watching them, right? Like other agents, like, why are you making videos about don't move to Maine? Like that's horrible. Like you were saying, Jeremy, like you're driving away business from our town. It's like, no, I'm not. I'm creating a barrier that I'm breaking down the barrier of, oh, this guy's just trying to sell me something. Oh, all he's trying to show me is the good things about it, right? That's what those negative videos end up doing.
So I like that you broke that down, because a lot of agents think that YouTube's a quick fix. We do 45-ish to 50 million a year just from YouTube. We're a totally different market, right?
Yep.
So, YouTube in Austin definitely works a little bit easier, but imagine this. If you're doing so, Karen's question really does go into the lane of what I want to talk about here. So she's talking about, does second home cities work? Okay. If you're the one person really talking about relocation and second homes in your area, people are going to find you on YouTube. My business doesn't come just from YouTube leads. It comes from agents that reach out to me because of YouTube. I send out tons of referrals from YouTube. Agents reach out to me about Real Broker from YouTube and wanting to help their channel. So YouTube is like one piece of an entire big business model. Now, imagine that you're a buyer and you are looking for a second home, and they fall into your channel because you're talking about second homes, doing property tours for different homes. You can make a whole website where you're just, or even put on your Google business profiles, links to these videos that you embed onto your blogs. And this becomes a second rotary piece, right? So now you're building up your Google business profile because you're creating SEO rich videos that are housed on your website, right? You create a blog, put it in there, moving to second homes, what second home searches is like, what's like searching, all of that stuff. You could do, I would do, if I were you, video, like talk to the agents in those areas, especially in a second home market, and say, hey, I'd love to shoot just a 5-minute video on your listing and put it on my YouTube channel. I'll give you credit for it as the agent, and do property tours for some of the homes out there. If people are looking for second homes, the thing is, we don't need these videos to be super viral. I mean, we talk about virality, but 500, 1,000 views on a video is really good and actually drives business. Those are the videos that actually get me more business. So the videos like they're 1,000 views, and not the videos like the video I put out yesterday or 2 days ago that was only at 777 views. We've already had 3 leads come through our funnel on that.
Right.
So as far as relocation guide, I think if you reach out to Cam or go on this thing, you can do that. Mike says, what would you go route? Would you go that route on your current channel or start another one? I think I lost what the question was.
Yeah, I think, Mike, were you talking about a relocation channel versus a property tour channel? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. I would make it a bucket of content on your current channel, right? So once a month, you talk about relocation specific content, unless you're having just a property tour channel. If you're a property tour channel, keep it a property tour channel. Don't make it anything else. Now you can add property tours onto your channel. Like, so example, yesterday in Austin, we have the Austin Luxury Network. So it's a off-market a group of agents that all produce high volume of off-market properties. So I went through and I called them all. I said, hey, look, I'm going to be doing YouTube content and I'm going to come through just do like a vlog style showing your home. Are you cool with that? I know this is off market. So we did a full video yesterday with me and my videographer where I basically said, hey, look, we're going to look at off market properties and we're going to walk through off market properties because you need an agent to see these properties. You're not going to find them on your own. And we went through and showed 5 properties. That's great because it's not just one property tour, but it's 5 homes and it'll keep people interested because you're seeing 2 million, 3 million, 4 million, 15 million. So
Nice. That's really smart.
Jennifer says, can you talk more funnel? If not, reload guide, what are you doing? I mean, put together, I mean, you and I can talk about this, Jennifer, but I think sometimes we overanalyze and just don't do. So I would figure out which way you want to go as a funnel. I mean, you can have a relocation guide, and then like what Cam does is just say, hey, if you are relocating, I do have a relocation guide. Here's the guide. Here's the link to get to the guide. So I would do that, but I would make a funnel. So once a month, just talk about relocating to your area.